putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Glad you're with me. We're talking about these scandalous Democrats and all of the tricks that they've used in order to get elected. Because here's the thing, folks. This is the Kevin Jackson Show, by the way. KJRadio.com. What we've learned about the Democrats is they cannot win if all they want to talk about are policies and ideologies and what works and what doesn't. They can't win. If they can't dress something up to be a better alternative than the worst thing they've set you out to be. So I'll use Judge Roy Moore as an example. If how would you vote for a pedophile when you could have this guy that likes killing babies and he doesn't date pedophiles? I mean, he doesn't date young girls. So the false choices they give you leave you no choice but to take the lesser of two evils. But ask yourself, do you really support Doug Jones's platform? He's for open borders. He doesn't care whether Muslims come in to kill you. He obviously has no scruples because he's a Democrat, and he enjoys killing black babies in massive numbers because he's a proponent of Planned Parenthood. And I could go on. He's for every failed policy that Barack Obama implemented, not because he really cares, because he doesn't. He's not going to live under that. The beauty of being a leftist is you're never going to live under the laws that you pass for the sodomites, for the minions. So what do I care? If you'll give me the most money and you'll make sure that I've got all the funding I need, to run my campaign and keep my thing going, I'll vote any way you want. I don't have to have any scruples about it. Do you think Obamacare applies to me? No. Do you think Social Security applies to me? No. Do you think that the rules of the stock market apply to me? No. None of it applies. You know what? Let's look at the stock market for just a second. Donald Trump has got a stock market that's made the middle class pretty rich in the past year. And he's benefited everybody. When the stock market was at its worst, Nancy Pelosi made the most money. She went from being worth roughly $12 million to being worth almost $36 million from 2008 to 2010. $12 million to $20 million to $35.7 million, if I remember the numbers correctly, in 2008, 2009, and 2010. One of the worst economic periods in America. So she feasted. Do you think anybody else feasted? No. Stock market was in triage. But Donald Trump has made sure everybody's feasting. Are the Democrats feasting? I'm sure they are. But everybody else is. Because that's what you do when you're a conservative. You go, I'm going to make this stock market benefit anybody that wants to play. It's going to benefit you. And wait until the waste and the fraud and all these other things start to come out of this stuff. You're going to find out we're going to clean up the stock market. It's probably going to settle. But then it'll come back stronger because America will be stronger. The dollar will be stronger. The economy will be stronger. But that's how you do it when you're a conservative. But you don't do that when you're a leftist. You only want to feather the nest of everybody else. So we were talking about what they're willing to do to destroy these people. And Lisa Bloom acknowledges this is an attorney who's gathering women to make false allegations against Donald Trump. Now, does it make you think about the false allegations against Bill Cosby? There aren't false allegations against Bill Clinton because he was broke. When the allegations came against him, it was just, this is the way the guy is. And Jennifer Flowers, who, by the way, is a beautiful lady, lounge singer, she's like, look, I had an affair with Clinton for a better part of a decade. I didn't want any money. I loved Bill. You don't believe her? Juanita Broderick didn't make any money off Bill Clinton. She's just traumatized from him. But Lisa Bloom is looking for people so that she can accuse Donald Trump of doing something, thinking it's a payday. Look at O'Reilly. He said, I'm in this mix. These are people that she is getting together. Once somebody goes, I've accused Bill O'Reilly. Oh, he's rich. Let's all accuse him. This is a market. Pay for play, ambulance style chaser. And when are political donors leveraged to pay legal fees for this kind of nonsense? When the fate of the free world is at stake, silly. And Trump's election was going to change the fate of the free world, at least according to the leftists. So they were willing to do anything. And Bloom said this. She said her goal in securing money was not to pressure women to come forward, but to rather help them to relocate or arrange security if they felt unsafe during the waning days of a vitriolic election. But she wouldn't identify any of the donors. Now, I'd love to get Tom Fitton of the, whatever his group is, the Judicial Watch, to sue for freedom of information to get this information. Because let me tell you something. You're going to find out the donors of this were all Democrats, all supporters of Hillary Clinton. And Bloom did have an ace in the hole in terms of her payments, because she noted that she represented sexual harassment victims for free or at reduced rates. And she also acknowledged this, which was the real thing that kind of outed her. And that was, a standard part of her contract required women to pay her commissions of 33% if they sold their stories to media outlets. I want you to think about that. Our standard, this is what she writes, our standard pro bono agreement for legal services provide that if a media entity offers to compensate a client for sharing his or her story, we receive a percentage of those fees. This rarely happens. But on occasion, a case generates media interest, and sometimes, not always, a client may receive an appearance fee. Folks, this is a scam. It's a leftist scam. It is a mill that's meant to keep high-profile men on alert that this could happen at any time. That's why I said to you, the only way you go at this is you fight. You just go, okay, fine. Show me the proof. Show me the text messages. Show me the emails. Show me anything, because I'm going to keep my schedule and everything I have, and I'm going to turn all my records over. So you better have rock solid proof. And as far as guys go, you better be watching every step. She says this, as a private law firm, we have significant payroll, tax, rent, insurance, and other expenses every week. So an arrangement where we might receive some compensation to defray our costs seems reasonable to us and is agreed to by our clients. Ambulance chasing, anti-man, anti-conservative, anti-Trump, anti-American. This is not what this country was built on. This kind of nonsense. I got to pay those bills. Accusing innocent men pays well, apparently. But does anybody want to consider what the cost is to the men? Losing careers. Or do we just concede that men have had it good enough and now it's time to pay regardless? So Bloom told The Hill that she had no contract with Hillary Clinton or the campaign, but declined to address any contacts with super PACs that supported the Democratic presidential nominee. So let me save you the suspense, folks. You know for a fact that the Democrats were involved. You know this. Hillary isolated herself by saying, it wasn't me, it was the super PACs. But trust me, the strategy was set. And it doesn't matter who sets the strategy, it's been set. But it's going to backfire. I promise you it's going to backfire. Stories are already circulating. And look, we got a lot to talk about today. I know I've covered a lot of this sexual stuff, and we've even got one more story that we'll be talking about in just a bit. But this is important because it isn't about the sexual misconduct. It's about why is it being used? Why is it suddenly coming to the fore? Why is it that women were supposed to be, oh my gosh, under Donald Trump, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to all be killed. And suddenly, they're all becoming empowered. And for the record, if a woman is competent at what she does, congratulations. I love seeing competent women. I really do. I think it's amazing to watch people do a job well. But I love seeing competent men. One's no more or no less dazzling than the other. And I don't look at it and go, whoa, look at that competent woman. Where'd she come from? Like she was dropped in from outer space. There are plenty of competent women. But this kind of nonsense, running around, accusing men of things that they didn't do, ruining the lives of men, and not even caring. It's like the John Benet Ramsey story to me. I remember John Benet was accused of murdering his own daughter, and they finally figured out he didn't do it. They accused his wife. She dies of cancer before they could even clear her name. And I'm thinking to myself, really, you destroyed a family? And people are like, oh, well, doody-doo. You know when leftism is involved because it makes no apologies. It never looks in the rearview mirror. It just moves forward to the next victim, the next saga, for the next thing that they believe is the fate of the free world is at stake unless we do something this way. And they wonder why I call them scurrilous scoundrels. That's what they are.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.